Well, hello then, I do hope you're all well and I do hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Now, this is an absolute belter. On Wednesday, the day after Andrea Leadsom had wrote her letter criticising our feckless leader Bodge Jobson over partygate and demanding her party to, basically get the finger out of their arses and dump our Boris Johnson. Now, even before our Crime Minister got booed by royalists as he was taken into St Paul's by his handler, who, without doubt, more often than not will be Conservative voters, despite those within the lunatic fringe over the right wing, like Patrick O'Flynn trying to blame these people who jeered him as Sadiq Khan fans, as if lefties are going to queue up for hours to see royals or whatever. What an idiot. But you will still have bodge sycophants who still believe that Boris Johnson still has not only got his finger on the pulse, the public think he's the bee's knees and understands what the working class are going through.
Isla is in Woking. Isla, what do you reckon?
Good morning. I personally don't want to see a leadership challenge.
Why not?
Because I don't think there's anybody better, frankly, than Boris. That's not saying he's much good, but I can't see anybody who is viable.
If I said to you I can't think of anybody being worse, what would you say? Don't say Nadine Dorries. That's not fair. All right. But
I wasn't going to.
Okay.
No, that's a debatable point. And frankly, if you had my son on the phone, he would be so much better at debating with you, but he isn't. So.
But we're not having a debate. I just said that. I'm just wondering.
Right. Okay. Well, no,
who could
I do
be
not
worse?
want to see a change. I think actually somebody like Rishi Sunak would be worse because he doesn't seem to have a clue about how a normal, in inverted commas, person actually has to survive.
You saw the story yesterday about Boris Johnson hiring 4 extra staff at Chequers during the cost of living.
Yes, I did, and I thought ruefully...
Is that how normal people survive, Isla?
Well, I am my son's registered carer, and
yes.
I don't even get a carer's allowance.
Yes, but it was Boris Johnson who hired 4 extra servants at Chequers.
Yes, I realised that,
yeah.
And they've wallpapered Number 10, and
yes.
God knows what else they've done.
But it's Rishi Sunak who's not in touch with normal people.
No, I think none of them are in touch, and I think that also includes people like Keir Starmer. And
okay, based on what?
Well, I think he's going to probably wriggle out of this beer thing.
But the idea that he's not in touch with ordinary people, and we're comparing him to one of the richest men in the country and a man who just hired 4 new servants, what would we put on Keir Starmer's charge sheet?
Well, they're not his personal servants, are they? They're Chequers.
What would we put on Keir
Starmer's?
What would we put on Keir Starmer's charge sheet?
Well, he didn't appear to know what he was doing when he was standing in a window drinking beer and then shouting about the Prime Minister.
That's not evidence of being out of touch with ordinary people, is it?
I do not know what he spends his money on, and frankly, I don't know what Boris spends his own personal money on.
But again, I'm sorry to labour the point, but if Keir Starmer is also out of touch with ordinary people, what are we going to put on the charge sheet? Because it can't be his background, and it can't be his personal wealth, and it can't be his career as a public servant
I think
lawyer.
The problem is that
yes?
they become there becomes a sense of entitlement amongst MPs. And this is
but
not
Boris
just
Johnson
one
is
MP.
widely regarded as having the biggest sense of entitlement in political history, and yet he's the man you want to keep in the top job.
Because I don't see anybody any better.
When do you think you might?
Well, if a rising star actually, appears somewhere, that would be excellent. But at the moment...
we'll all hope for that. And before you go, just one last chance. The evidence that Keir Starmer is out of touch with ordinary people in a comparable way to perhaps Boris Johnson, the servant hirer, and Rishi Sunak, one of the richest men in the country. What would you put on the list?
Okay, I have no clue if Keir Starmer has been hiring servants. I don't know. And
you would know, wouldn't you?
No, why would I? I'm not particularly interested in Keir Starmer.
But you just referred to a photograph of him that appeared on the front page of the Daily Mail for 2 weeks straight, despite the fact that he's not been found to have broken any laws. So you would have found out from the same people that have persuaded you.
Sorry, but in the same way, all these photographs. Yeah,
I think we're not going to get anything on the charge sheet.
I don't think we are. No, we're not.
But good luck. I mean, you hang in there. It's a shame it was not your brilliant debater son that came on the show to make the case that Keir Starmer has oh dear.
You know what? I find these phone calls fascinating. Do you? Man, I do. I'll tell you I do. Even when the evidence is slapping them in the face that this man is wholly unfit for the job, they still love him and admit this part is totally inadequate for the country, but they still back him. Luckily, I get the feeling these sorts of people are getting smaller and smaller, but what do you guys think? Are these sycophants getting smaller and smaller? I certainly hope so. Right, I shall leave the video here, and until the next time I shall bid you farewell and take care.